Day 30 of the zombie outbreak. There was no sign of anyone else alive in the city. But suddenly a note came upstairs. Hello, I have been watching you for a long time. Things went wrong at first. I received a message from my boyfriend Lin Yan. I may not be able to go back tonight. A mutated squirrel was found in room C yesterday. Existing indicators suggest that it may be a novel virus. I bounced out of bed with a shrewd look. Mutated novel virus. The boyfriend is currently working at the Research Institute engaging in virus-related research. So this information is true and reliable. I stared at the message for a long time and couldn't speak. I've been reading a lot of doomsday novels online recently. If such a crisis does break out, a large amount of survival materials must be stocked to lie down safely in the apocalypse. So I immediately brought my cat Nika, getting ready to go to the mall. Although Linian didn't say anything like the end of the world, but I feel prepared. After all, there was also a virus. Let everyone lie at home for 3 years. As soon as you enter the mall, I just pushed to shopping carts and swept the goods like crazy. Rice, instant noodles, canned jerky, compressed biscuits, and so on. This easy-to-preserve vegetarian except food, for cilantro-flavored instant noodles. Everything I could. I don't know what kind. Exceptional people like this instant noodle. Then I grabbed a tissue, sanitary napkin, disinfectant, etc. If there is a virus outbreak, hygiene must be paid attention to. And I also grabbed enough cat food. Cat litter is doomsday. I don't want my Nico either. Suffer with me. Finally, I found that the shopping carts were simply not enough. I just waved my hand and called the staff. All delivered to my door. The staff's smiling eyes are almost out of sight, but a little bit. I was puzzled and asked why I bought so much. I want to open a commissary. Bitch, I can feel the smiles on the staff's faces. The intention is gradually but the mouth is still flattering. Boss, you are really... Hey, your business mind is broke. I guess they think I'm mentally ill, but who cares? Ask the staff to help me move things back. When the 2 second bedrooms in the house are placed, it's already past 5 p.m. Fortunately, when I bought the house, picked the largest apartment in the community, that kind of 42 meters per floor. If there is a virus outbreak, there's plenty of room at home to stock up. I stood in the living room and looked around, thinking about what else is necessary. Nika just jumped on the water dispenser. Meow at me. At this time, there is still 1/3 of the bucket left in the water dispenser. I suddenly realized my omisio. Sure enough, the novels are all fictional. How could anyone be able to do it in the first place? So comprehensive. Seeing this, I immediately dialed the number of the water delivery master. Asked him to bring me all the water in the store. Not for a while. 120 buckets of water filled my third room. Busy day. I feel like my body is breaking down. So I decided to check out doomsday novels online again. Mission check. As soon as you turn on the phone, I received Lin Yan's message. Don't go out for a while. The infected animal in City B is also a chick. My brain is racing. Chicken, that's not what everyone eats. It's contagious. Not sure yet, but it's possible. What happens if you get infected? After this is sent out, it took about half a day to reply. If it's mild, it's probably just like the flu. In serious cases, you may become a zombie. Zombie, I was stunned in place. If there are really zombies, wouldn't that be the end of the world? I just thought I was making a fuss. I didn't expect. Lin Yan has given an accurate answer. When I think of zombie movies, the endless corpses, I couldn't help but shiver, so I immediately made an appointment with an installer online. Come and install multiple anti-theft nets for my home tomorrow. Replace the glass in the house with knives and guns. Bulletproof glass. In addition, I'm also going to put an extra fire door outside the door. Subsequently, I placed a bunch of orders on the takeout app guy. Standing fever. Cold medicine. By the way, many tools have also been ordered on the shopping software. In case. If something breaks in the house one day, it will be bad. However, Lin Yan's message was sent again after a while. So, what did you buy? I felt speechless. Just 2 words back to buy your life. Wait until I open my eyes again. Already the next day. After picking something out last night, I actually looked at Maggie. Doomsday Video accidentally fell asleep. At the moment, the battery of the mobile phone is only 18%. And it hit me. I even forgot a top priority, electricity. I immediately opened the shopping software. Another brain ordered a lot of power banks. Remarks the fully charged ones are being shipped. And I was out. Purchased a lot of solar charging gadgets. However, when I come back, I suddenly smelled a familiar stench. Look around. Sure enough, Nicole took a dump. However, when shoveling, I suddenly realized a problem. How should I flush my toilet if the water stops? And then finally, I saw in Nico's retarded eyes, simulated squatting in his cat litter. The scene of shitting on the bossy. It seems acceptable, so I ordered more cat litter. Home delivery. When taking the courier, it just so happened that the master who installed the door and glass also arrived. Such a beautiful terrace. Why install so many layers of barbed wire? Are you going to put something? No, I'm just afraid of the cat falling off. I casually perfunctory to sentences, but it quickly dawned on me. It's a pity that this part of the terrace is not used. But supplies cannot be stored here. If the apocalypse does break out, rice supplies will become a place of arrows. In addition to a small pool for goldfish on the stage, nothing else. looking at the water pipe in the sink that is still changing the water. I suddenly had a bold idea. And there's a lot of light. You can grow your own vegetables. So I opened the delivery software. I placed an order again. Fertilizer, seeds, and other materials. Because my planting skills are not good. I picked out some good ones. Feeding lettuce to grow. Then I discussed it with the master again. Let him call his decoration colleague. Help me build a flower bed along the edge of the patio, since that goldfish is Lin Yan's favorite pet. Therefore, the pool has not been removed for the time being. After all the renovations are completed, it's already 6 p.m. After they left, I put the door to the fire escape. I also installed the anti-theft lock I bought, because the apartment I bought is 1 floor per household. The parts on this floor of my house are only me and Lin Yan. Someone who can come up. Only the stairs to the fire escape. Plus, we live on the 23rd floor. It's even less likely that someone will enter my house from the balcony. Just after I made all the arrangements, the phone suddenly received a message from Lin Yan. She was found to be infected this morning. The blood sample taken from the human body has been delivered. Today, all known infectious viruses vary widely. The Institute has no countermeasures for the time being. What are the symptoms of infection? Dizziness and high fever. Someone went to see City Hospital for examination this morning. I thought it was just a normal headache, but in the afternoon, that person has organ failure. The hospital couldn't find it. It was just reported to us. And judging by the rate of exhaustio, that person was gone in 2 days. When will you be back then? Not today. Tomorrow. Let's take a look at this virus tonight. Is there any research strategy? Then you must pay attention to safety. In 2 days. If there is a zombie outbreak, then leave it. I have less than 2 days to prepare. I watched the video of the end of Magi several times that night. In my drowsiness, I fell asleep. However, I woke up I was awakened by the news of the work group. Have you all seen the news? It has been temporarily suspended recently. Don't come to work. Everyone stay at home. Information that catches your eye instantly swept away my sleepiness. Is the news a zombie explosion? I frantically opened the news software. Recently, a new type of infectious disease has appeared in Please take protective measures when going out. Wear a mask. Wash your hands frequently to avoid infection. City where I am located is only separated by City B. City C discovered the mutant squirrel first. Then infected humans were found the next day. According to this time, the one that will infect humans tomorrow should be B. Yes, it is when the infection has not been found for the time being. It should be the safest for the time being. But as I thought about it, there was a sudden knock at the door. Suddenly my heart was pulled. I pricked up my ears and listened carefully to the sound outside the door. Due to the addition of many more doors, the sound wasn't clear. So I opened the surveillance software at the door. Suddenly, a familiar face appears in the picture. It's Lin Yan who's back. So I went to open the door for him. As soon as he entered the door, he showed a tired face. The situation is not optimistic. Those who are not at the graduate level have gone home. He looked up at the supplies at home with a surprised expressio. But soon he understood. What are the things I bought these days? I thought it would be easier for him. But the next second he sighed. Told me about the horror of this virus. Original. The patient who went to see City Hospital for examination a few days ago died. Organ failure. But preparing for autopsy at their institute. It's time. The patient comes back to life. Live. Alive. Has he turned into a zombie? He nodded dumbly. It's as if I don't have the strength to admit it. Although I have considered the worst case scenario. People can really become zombies. But I never thought the zombie outbreak will come so soon. And Lee Rock's mood also began to become a little unstable. I faltered for a long time. I just found out. Turns out his best friend died at the mouth of the zombie. His shoulders began to shake involuntarily. I know he was crying. I patted him on the shoulder with a hand for comfort. But Lin Yan took my hand and said, "This virus outbreak? Not like those movies at all. It's as simple as the novel says. It only takes 48 hours for someone infected with the virus to attack. But it was bitten by a mutated zombie. In 10 minutes, he will be assimilated into a zombie. I don't know how to comfort his anxiety. I can only accompany him silently. Wake up. I just heard the sound of hitting the wall from the living room. Leave the bedroom. I just found out it was Rock is installing sound-absorbing panels on the walls of his house. Don't be so cautious. Do you still want to install a sound-absorbing board? I'm a little puzzled. After all, we live on the 23rd floor. What sound do you want to make? You can't hear me downstairs. However, after Lin Yan installed the last sound-absorbing board in the living room, say solemnly, I'm not afraid of zombies. It's the person who hears the voice. Lin Yan's serious expression made me realize, and he was right. The most terrifying thing in the end is always the human heart. Just in case. Lin Yan took advantage of my sleep. I even went out for a walk. Almost all supplies in the city now. Drugs have been swept away. I tried to grab some back. After all we can think of. And so did everyone else. At the same time, bought a professional solar generator and rainwater receiver. After all, how long will this zombie outbreak last? No one can tell. The people in the office told me today. There must be an infection too. It's exactly what I expected. Fortunately, a teacher has not found it for the time being. We should be safe for another 2 days. I didn't get Lin Yan's echo when I said this. I have some doubts. Looking up, I saw him frowning tightly. The necessary infection agent. I was on a business trip in H 2 days ago. Cydia is not safe now. and Lin Yan suspects someone ate an infected animal. So how did animals get infected with the virus? Lin Yan and I were lost in thought for a while. There must be some specific medium that caused the spread of the virus. But what would it be? Miko is lying on the balcony. The sound of meowing interrupts our thoughts. I went to the door. See? The only little goldfish in the pool turned over. Yesterday, this little goldfish was still alive and kicking. How could he suddenly die today? Lin Yan, staring at the live pump in the pool that is still delivering water. His face was a little flustered. He quickly took out the test strip from the room towards the pool. However, the moment the test strip just touches the water surface, the test strip turned completely black. But the water in the pool is still clear. Nothing has changed. And I stood on my head. Lin Yan on the side was also shocked and speechless. So the thing that really makes life change is water. Just thinking about this, I quickly closed the sluice at home. Avoid recognizing water sources with viruses. And the forest rock on the side. This latest discovery is being reported by phone. Towards evening. Urgent news is on the TV. The general public, do not touch the water in the faucet. According to the latest news, many reservoirs in our country have been seriously polluted. Please try to drink bottled drinking water. This urgent. The news was played on a 5-minute loop on TV. Online water source. The news aroused the discussion of many netizens. Everything is said under the comments of the news. Some of them said there might be zombies. The end of the world has arrived. But most people don't believe it. However, at this time, a woman's scream came from outside the window. I got up from the sofa in a panic. I only see Lin Yan staring downstairs thoughtfully. It took a long time to say a word. Zombie. Here it comes.
Zombie. Looking out the window. People in the opposite building were running for their lives. Several twisted figures followed behind him. You can still rely on it through the window. I heard their desperate cries for help. With a terrifying wail. More and more lights on the floor. The lower-level residents have obviously fried the pot. There was a lot of noise downstairs. It's over. The zombies really broke out. I slumped on the ground feebly. Although we are fully prepared. But when the zombie really appeared in front of him, I'm still terrified. In the following days, we lived off the supplies we hoarded. Idle time, Lin Yan will continue to study the zombie virus at home. And I was looking for Lin before I came. He will make drone. Manipulate him while going out to check the situation. While trying to find rescue. After all, we don't know. Can the supplies in your hands last until the zombies? Doomsday ends. There are not many zombies on the street. More are concentrated in residential areas. This undoubtedly increases the difficulty of going out to find supplies. And during this time I also found through observation, zombies' eyesight doesn't seem to be good. They mostly distinguish things by smelling. Sense and hearing. We thought we were just going to hide at home. Does not make any sound or taste. You can survive the end safely. But not until I was in the kitchen. A note was found on the windowsill. Hello, I have been watching you for a long time. Lin Yan and I both looked at each other in horror. Draw the curtains quickly. You know, we live on the 23rd floor. Can you put the note on our windowsill? Certainly not the neighbor downstairs. One household on the first floor of the community. The only thing that can be done is the residents upstairs. If he had been watching us for so long, then he must know we have stock at home. Accumulated materials. Just thinking about this, Lin Yan and I are big. The enemy, although we replaced it with bulletproof glass and iron mesh. But in the face of the apocalypse, humanity is cornered. Far scarier than zombies. So I decided to take turns with Lin Yan to rest. At least when you encounter sudden problems, we can notice in time. Suddenly, there was a crisp knock from the balcony window. It's not loud, but it's especially clear in the silent neighborhood. My heart was gripped. Lin Yan, I was also very nervous to pick it up and put it on. Flower spatula on the balcony. He slowly opened the curtains. Lin Yan and I both froze in place. And there's a homemade robot flying out the window. His arm was tapping regularly on the ledge. We dare not act rashly. Although it is said that many wealthy families have already, and this assistive robot. But in this apocalypse, don't let down your guard against anyone. But then the robot spoke first. Hello. I mean no harm. I won't hurt you. I just wanted something to eat and I frowned. I looked the robot up and down. Who are you? Why should we give you food? Wait a minute. The robot flew up immediately. 2 minutes later, he was holding a document on the windowsill. Lin Yan and I got closer. Found out that it was a city. Student ID card of a well-known high school. The name is Chen Jiang. What about your parents? Not at home. I don't know what happened. Lin Yan and I looked at each other. They see the same problem in each other's eyes. Save me or not, I thought for a moment. Finally got 2 buckets from the room. Instant noodles and a bottle. Mineral water. Handed it out. Thank you. After saying that, the robot immediately retracted. Lin Yan and I waited for a while. Make sure the robot doesn't come down again. I just went back to the house with him. What if he keeps coming for food? He's just a kid. What if the student ID wasn't his? You can see that Lin Yan is very opposed to my approach. But I think, if the people upstairs had found out, we have enough supplies. It definitely won't wait until this time to appear again. Something tells me that maybe he's not lying to us. Lin Yan did not object after hearing this. However, what surprised me was, after a power outage in the community a few days later, another note was thrown down from upstairs. The passage door is locked and I can't get in. So I put food on you. In the fire escape. Food? The neighbor upstairs said a few days ago that there was no food. And now they're giving us food. Is he trying to trick us into opening the door? For a time, Lin Yan and I were a little confused. After a few seconds of silence, picked up the hammer that was placed at the door. Now we have to confirm the identity of the upstairs. Otherwise, he will always be a hidden danger. Just in case. I took a clothes pole and followed him. Lin Yan and I carefully opened the door. After confirming that there is no abnormality in the corridor outside the house, just opened the door to the fire escape. The click of the lock opening is very crisp. Echoes echoed in the empty hallway. Lin Yan carefully pushed open the door. Behind the door, there was something because the door opened. Fell down. I was so scared that I blocked the door with a clothes drying pole. You can look down and find it was actually a bottle of mineral water and 2 buckets of instant noodles. There was silence in the hallway. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. We poked our heads out together and glanced down the corridor. Soon we saw that, and the student ID. The same boy. Standing cowardly behind the door. You are Chen Jiayang. Lin Yan tightly held the hammer in his hand. I'm also very nervous, for fear of other people jumping out of the corner of the corridor. The boy in front of him, they don't seem to notice us. Cautious, just nodded seriously. Why are you sleeping here? I have some doubts. After all, the situation outside now, it's not safe as long as you leave the house. How dare he sleep in the fire escape? I'm a little scared. I was still working on robots after 3 o'clock. But there was a sudden power outage at home. I was scared. So I wrote you guys a note to try my luck. Let's see if you guys come out. Then what do you want to do when you meet us? I think... with you. I frowned. I looked at the food on the ground. Chen Jiayang reacted quickly. Explain to us. These are his robots. I got it from outside. Lin Yan and I are a little surprised. We thought it was just a normal household. Robot, I didn't expect to be able to go out and search for supplies. Lin Yan and I looked at each other and nodded. And I understood. After all, our supplies are not infinite. If this time, we can have an outing to collect. Material robot. For us, this is definitely an extra layer of security. Finally, we agreed to Chen Jiayang's request. Soon he came to our house with the robot. After the 3 of us sorted out the supplies, the second bedroom was reserved for Chen Jiayang. Then we put the solar generator in the rain. Water receiver installed. When I came to my senses, it was already dark. After a day together, we finally figured out the details of Chen Jiayang. He was last year because of the foreign robot competition. On the news, science genius. This is another happy event for us. To celebrate the addition of Chen Jiayang, we ate a hot pot after a long absence. But just as we were getting ready to rest at night, Nico squatted on the balcony and kept barking. Look in the direction Nico was facing. Lin Yan and I suddenly noticed something strange. Close to the balcony, I heard a whisper outside the window. Asu's voice. That sound is good. It looks like something is rubbing against the wall. So the 3 of us carefully placed the curtains. Open the window and it's empty. But the sound never stopped. As we searched for the source of the sound, a dark shadow suddenly passed before our eyes. Immediately after, there was a heavy muffled sound downstairs. We were all taken aback by what we saw. Lin Yan on the side was the first to react. Ask Chen Jiayang. Do you know who lives upstairs? Because our building has only 25 floors. Chen Jiayang has no one at home. So Lin Yan naturally suspected. Residents on the top floor. Do not know, but there were a few times when I got off the elevator. A family of 3 little girls is not big. She is only 6 or 7 years old. I had a bad feeling. And control the drone. Fly to the upper floor to check the situation. How could this be? Doomsday eruption. Zombie infestation. The city is dead silent. We're surviving at home on stockpiles. Until I saw a man fall from a building with my own eyes. I just flew the drone upstairs to observe. Scenes that can be seen. But we can't help but take a breath of cold air. The room on the 25th floor was pitch black. By moonlight, we can barely see it. The room is full of signs of fighting. There's still a big puddle on the ground that's dry. Dried blood. The camera moves slowly. In the corner, we also found a curl. Shrinking figure. Followed by a pointed mouth. The zombie with teeth appeared in the picture. But he just stayed in front of no one. Screaming hard. It wasn't until we looked closely that we realized zombies have their hands and feet chained to the wall. The distance just now is the limit of his movement. I controlled the drone to move slowly. His figure was soon reflected in the picture. Chen Jiayang also recognized this zombie as the woman who lives upstairs. I still remember he once said that there lived a family of 3 upstairs. It seems that he should be after the zombie mutated, locked up by his husband. After all, it's hard for people to accept their loved ones become zombies, let alone kill him with your own hands. Chen Jiayang and Lin Yan also made the same guess. Knew there were other survivors in the neighborhood. I don't know if this is something to be happy about. Just as I was about to return the drone, a soft, the waxy voice suddenly passed through the drone's microphone. Cast it on, Dad. The figure of a little girl appeared in the picture. She looked 6 or 7 years old, skinny, little face dirty, a pair of big eyes full of fear and helplessness. Her body trembled slightly. Lin Yan realizes that the little girl is in danger and hurried upstairs. I can understand how he feels at this moment, but we have no idea what's going on upstairs. It's just too dangerous. Chen Jiayang also stopped Lin Yan, pointing to the drone with some uncertainty. I remember there seemed to be a rope on the windowsill on the 25th floor. As I steered the drone towards the window, Sure enough, a rope is tied to the top of the windowsill on the 25th floor. The end of the rope hangs in front of the window on the 24th floor. Perhaps at first, the man on the 25th floor is going to climb down through the rope. And for some reason it fell off. I didn't expect it. The rope left before the end of his life became the only way to save his daughter. Mom and Dad are gone. I'm so scared. Little girl's voice from the drone again. He doesn't seem to know. His mother has become a zombie. Now, he was moving towards the zombie. I screamed in my heart that it was not good. At our current speed, there was no time to stop him. Can we only watch? He was attacked by his mother who had turned into a zombie. Fortunately, the bells beneath my feet reminded me that's Nico's toy. Soon the sound of toys. The ring successfully attracted the little girl's attention, but the danger is not lifted. After we confirm that the 24-layer rope is strong enough, Lin Yan climbed up. The zombie in the corner immediately noticed Lin. The existence of rocks. He went crazy trying to break free from the chains. But what's even scarier is, by drone, I heard the crisp crack of the chains. Lin Yan Kwai, that chain may not hold up. The little girl was suddenly picked up by zombies, too scared to move. He no longer paid attention to the toys in front of him. Instead, he timidly regarded Lin Yan as a bad person. Little sister, don't be afraid. Uncle is your father's friend. Let me come and pick you up. Come here, Uncle. Uncle will take you to find your father. Little girl late. Doubt for a moment. It's like making a difficult choice. After a while, he seemed to have made up his mind. Mom, I'll go out for a while. Wait a minute. Dad will come back together to treat you. And I had a lot of mixed feelings. Perhaps in his world. Don't know yet. His mother's illness will never recover. Lin Yan pulled up the girl. The zombie beside him suddenly became manic. Maybe our actions irritated him. Or he still retains a mother's instinct. The zombie desperately broke free from the chains. He rushed towards Lin Yan. I subconsciously controlled the drone. Block in front of him. The power of zombies is too great. As soon as the drone touched him, he was knocked to the ground. Fortunately, in the end, we managed to save the little girl. The little girl's face was covered with tears. The body is also shaking nonstop. Lin Yan's arm was also bruised. But he couldn't care less about his injuries, gently patting the little girl on the shoulder, trying to calm him down. After the little girl's mood stabilizes a little bit, Lin Yan Kai asked about the little girl. My name is Yo-Yo. That is my mom. I don't know how she became like that. He may be too tired. Soon he passed out. With a key in his hand, I see. No wonder the rope is tied to the top of the balcony on the 25th floor. But what's on the roof? It's almost become the most difficult problem for us to understand at the moment. Remember to buy a house before. I once visited the rooftop with Lin Yan. Except for some air conditioners, there's nothing left. I guess he was trying to find the transmitter. Shock. It appeared on my face and Lin Yan's face almost at the same time, but more is still puzzling. Why did he take the risk? Go to the roof and send a signal. After thinking for a long time, there is no answer. We decided to go back to the 23rd floor before making plans. Before leaving, we found that the little girl couldn't wake up. Fortunately, Lin Yan has some medical experience. He quickly determined that little girl has serious heart disease. You need to take special drugs to maintain good health. Could it be that the special medicine at home has been eaten? That's why his father went upstairs in such a hurry. In the eyes of Lin Yan and Chen Jiayang, I saw a little movement. I know they intend to finish what Yo-Yo's father didn't finish. Usually the door on the top floor will not open. The only way to get up there. All that's left is the rope on the balcony on the 25th floor. The rope is by the balcony. If you accidentally make a sound, it will attract zombies on the 25th floor. When we are at a loss. But Nico's roar came from beside him. Nico is bare teeth at the robot right now. A thought flashed through my mind. Maybe he's our only hope now. When everything is ready, Chen Jiayang controls the robot. Unlock the door on the 25th floor with a faint key. The zombies in the house were soon bloodied. The fishy taste attracts pounced on the robot. Finally, the zombie was lured downstairs. Make sure the corridor is safe. We brought communication tools and Nico quickly entered Yo-Yo's home. What surprised us was, in his house we found a large number of maintenance of signal transmitters, and the map and contact information of the shelter. After a simple identification, Lin Yan is sure that these materials are not false, the position above he had seen at the institute. Got the news? We immediately went to the roof to repair the transmitter. Time goes by minute. Forest. Yan and Chen Jiayang's foreheads were covered with beads of sweat, until the sun is about to rise. Lin Yan shouted yes excitedly. It's fixed, please. The rescue message was sent out, although I don't know what they sent. But seeing the hard-to-hide smiles on the faces of the two, I know we finally made it. The three of us slumped on the roof, eyes to the sky. The heart is full of expectations. Not long, the roar of a helicopter came from a distance. The moment I saw the rescue workers, we were all moved to tears. Pretty soon, the four of us and the cat were pulled into the helicopter. After the plane takes off again, everyone can't hide the excitement in their hearts. Chen Jiayang even cheered on the plane. Nico is also a lot more lively than usual. But Lin Yan whispered in my ear with an ugly face. Something is wrong. This direction doesn't seem to be going to the shelter.